The entire reason the government is not open right now is because Democrats refuse to be complicit in having millions of Americans, including 100,000 in Kentucky, your home state, if I'm remembering correctly, Scott, that rely on ACA, that would see their premiums rise several.
Which you can deal with separately. It doesn't have to be, those two things do not go together.
But the way that they're doing this right now, they're combining both.
Voting to support the budget still doesn't, if you keeping it closed doesn't fix the ACA. The ACA needs to be reformed. Healthcare needs to be reformed. This is a way bigger question.
You guys failed at that last time. The whole thing was repeal and replace. You had a trifecta. You tried this. You failed.
Maybe that's not true. They're still in the concept of a plan stage.
No, in terms of
they've been in the concept stage since 2000.
But David, you would admit that the ACA was a Democrat legislation, yes? And you would admit that the subsidies that we're talking about now were passed by Democrats, yes? And you would admit that the sunset provision in the subsidies, which comes up at the end of the year, was in place because of Democrats, yes? Now you want to make it a Republican problem. These are not the same issues. You could open the government today, and then you could negotiate with with Republicans about ACA. And by the way, my suspicion is, and you know this, there are probably, and I know there are some House Republicans that would love to negotiate on it, but under duress, under a hostage-taking situation, connecting disconnected issues, and now you're throwing SNAP onto it, you're throwing all the federal workers who aren't being paid onto it, all because of this fight that you wandered into because of your wing of the Democratic Party. You all led to this SNAP crisis. You all led to this crisis of the government being closed, and you don't know how to get out of it.
They're the one who refusing for the government to be open. They're the ones who shut it down, who don't want to vote yes for the government to be open. Whereas they'll keep on saying it's the Republicans' fault. It's always the Republicans. They're always pushing Republicans under the bus. That is their fault. I love how Scott actually destroyed him right here. I love how Scott demolished him. Stat it in his face. Tell him. Plain black, he dropped bombshell on his face.
I understand, but the decision to not fund the government means very real pain caused today. People not getting paychecks today and SNAP funds today. And then obviously at airports across the country, delays are getting worse due to air traffic controller shortages. The FAA says that in the New York area, nearly 90% of air traffic controllers are out. The White House says that Thanksgiving travel could be a disaster if this shutdown continues that long. Are Democrats prepared to keep the government closed through Thanksgiving if it comes to that?
The question is, why are Republicans continuing to keep the government shut down? They have the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Donald Trump just made clear over the weekend repeatedly that Republicans have the ability to reopen this government. They don't want to do it because they'd rather continue to gut the health care of the American people. And here are some questions that need to be asked. Why have House Republicans remained on a taxpayer-funded vacation for the last 6 weeks? They keep canceling votes. They've canceled votes for next week. Of course, they are unserious as it relates to reopening the government. Why has Donald Trump spent more time on the golf course, including this weekend, than he has in talking to Democrats on Capitol Hill who represent half of the country? It's because apparently Donald Trump is uninterested in reopening the government. He doesn't want to stand up for hardworking federal employees. They fired more than 200,000 federal employees prior to them shutting the government down on October 1st. And why are Republicans so unwilling to even sit down and have a conversation with their Democratic colleagues on Capitol Hill in order to find a bipartisan path forward? It's because they are trying to inflict this cruelty on the American people. And Jake, this is a group of folks who passed their one big ugly bill, largest cut to Medicaid in American history. At the same time, they cut $186 billion from SNAP, literally ripped food out of the mouths of hungry children, seniors, and veterans. They did this in July, and that was done so they could reward their billionaire donors with massive tax breaks that they made permanent. And now they're unwilling to extend tax credits for working class Americans.
So you alluded—
It's all unacceptable, and it's obviously part of their plan.
Hakeem Jeffrey will just sit there and lie every single time. If we sit there and lie, and if you're hearing him speak, you'll be like, this man is trying to make a point, whereas the same bullshit. Number one, he said the SNAP benefit actually cut billions of dollars, were actually cut from SNAP benefits. Who were the SNAP given to? Majority of people who were SNAP benefits were actually given to, they were dead, or someone is just taking SNAP benefit from different countries, from different states. The SNAP benefit will actually also given to illegal aliens. He did not mention that. He didn't say that. Making it feel like Donald Trump administration is taking food away from hungry children, whereas it's a lie. This is Pelosi's scheme too. Pelosi always doing this. Always say this. Pelosi generally, these Democrats, they are always spinning this thing around to make it look like Republicans are the issue. Republicans are always the fault. Republicans is the problem in America, whereas they are the ones. Why is the government still shut down? Because people like Hakeem Jeffrey don't want to vote yes to open the government. If you so much care about SNAP, if you so much care about the working class Americans, if you so much care about the Americans who are not getting their pay right now, who are actually working in the airport, who are not actually getting their pay, if you so much care about them, why is the government still not open? Why is he voting no to opening the government? He won't mention that. He won't say a word about that. But we'll keep on blaming Trump, that Trump is the issue.
You're getting rid of $5.5 million to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex advocacy in Uganda, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
I can't believe we're arguing about this.
I can't believe that too.
I can't believe we're arguing about this. PEPFAR, we're not denying life-saving care to anybody, are we?
No, and $10 billion would remain for that funding.
I love Kennedy. I love this man. He's very honest. I love how his expression is very, very honest. This is where we have gotten to in America. Giving $5.5 million to a young boy in Uganda who feel like they're the wrong body. How crazy can that be, you guys? This is America. Very, very, very funny. It's really funny hearing that. And I love Kennedy. I love how honest he is. And it's bizarre. Why are we arguing about that? Can you hear the amount of money? $5.5 million. That is big to be given to. No. If it's about healthcare, I support that. If it's about people being sick in Uganda, I fully support that. But given to people who feel like they're in the wrong body, whereas they're totally all right. No. Scratch that.